Hey guys, we are finding sides of triangles today using sine, cosine, and tangent. Here is a quick, beautiful paper overview if you need a review on that. I also have a video linked where I talk about it in a little bit more depth, okay? Also today we are finding sides. If you need to find the angle using these beauties, I will also link a video for that over there. Okay, but let's get started. So we are working with sine, cosine, and tangent. They are related to right triangles, okay? Whatever angle we are talking about is how we label them, okay? Your hypotenuse is always the one across from the right angle. The one across from the angle that you are working with is opposite. The one next to it is adjacent. And these are the different ratios associated. The sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And this is the way to help you remember. So katoa, it's the beginning of each of these. Okay. All right. Let's get to work. Okay. First of all, now in the past, you may have used the Pythagorean theorem to solve triangles like this. But guess what? For the Pythagorean theorem, you need two sides and we only have one. But we also have an angle, which is good news because we can use these guys to find this side, okay? Pythagorean theorem is great, but it has limitations. Sorry, Pythagorean theorem, we still love you. Okay, so we are looking for this side and we have this angle, 55 degrees. Notice it is a right triangle, okay? So 55 degrees. This is the hypotenuse. I kind of like to label mine. It just helps my brain. And since this is next to the angle we are using, this is the adjacent side. So then I kind of look and say, okay, which one of these uses adjacent and hypotenuse? Well, it's the cosine, right? So I'm going to use the cosine of this angle to help me figure out what this side is. So how do we do that? Well, I know that the cosine of 55 degrees is, what is cosine? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. My adjacent is x, that's what I don't know. X over my hypotenuse is 20. Okay, now we just need to get x alone, okay? So to get x alone, it's being divided by 20, so I'm gonna multiply by 20 on both sides, okay? Oh my gosh, I also forgot to say that I'm going to be pretty detailed in this video. If you just need a really quick overview, I'll link a video over there. I should have said that at the beginning, but you know what? We all make mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to times by 20 on both sides. Why am I doing that? Because I want to get x alone. Okay, so now I know that x equals 20 times the cosine of 55 degrees. So you're like, okay, what do we do from here? Well, this is when you get to use your calculator. Oh my gosh. Okay, so on your calculator, sorry, I know you can't see the screen great. I apologize. But you see my buttons here, sine, cosine, and tangent. Your calculator should have them. Even my cell phone calculator has them. You have to click like the expand button, but it even has them. So they should be there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the cosine of 55. Another note to make is you probably can't see it, but right here on my calculator, it says DEG, which stands for degree, which you need to make sure that your calculator is in degrees. There's, it can be in radians or degrees, which when you're just adding, multiplying, dividing, it isn't a big deal, but when you're doing the sine, cosine, and tangent, it does matter. So check and make sure you're in degrees, not radians, okay? If you're like, I don't even know what that means, you're probably in degrees, and you'll be able to tell if you get the same answer as me. If not, maybe just look up online your particular calculator, how to change it from radians to degrees, okay? So here we go, 20 times the cosine of 55. So I type in the cosine of 55, and then I multiply it by 20. And I get a not so pretty decimal. Your teacher will probably tell you what decimal place to round to. I'm just going to say the hundredths. It's kind of a regular one. That's 2 decimal places. So I get 11.47152873. And I'm going to round that to 11.47. And that is what x equals. Okay, so that is that side. If we needed to figure out this side, we could, but it's not asking us for that one right now. Okay, let's do another one. So this one, the angle we are talking about is that 25 degrees. So right here. So the one across from my right angle is always the hypotenuse. The one across from the angle I'm using is the opposite side. Okay, and this over here is the adjacent. So we are using the opposite and the hypotenuse today. Which one uses those? It is sine. Okay, sine uses opposite and hypotenuse. So I know that the sine of 25 degrees is opposite over hypotenuse. So 12 over m. So we set it up just like this one, but you'll notice this time the variable is in the denominator. So it's going to be a little bit different, but you're really doing the same thing. You're trying to get m alone. So 12 is being divided by m. So I'm going to multiply both sides by m. Remember, as long as I multiply both sides, it's okay. So those cancel. So now I've got m on top. That's good news. So it's m times the sine of 25 degrees equals, all I have left over here is 12. Okay, we're closer, but not quite there. To get m alone, it is being multiplied by the sine of 25. So I'm going to divide by the sine of 25 degrees, both sides. You didn't know there could be this many letters in math, right? Okay, so those go away. So now m is all by itself, which is great. That's what I wanted. And over here, I've got 12 divided by the sine of 25. This is when we get to pull out our calculator. So I've got 12, and we are dividing it by the sine of 25 degrees. And I get 28.394419. So I'm going to round that to 28.4. I could write 0.40 if I wanted to. So that is m. Okay? All right, one more. Oh my gosh, last one. Are you feeling like a champion? Okay, this one, 72 degrees, is the one that I have. So, So my hypotenuse, it doesn't have a number, so we're not really worried about it right this minute. I could label it. There you go. Does that make you feel better? All right, this is adjacent side, and this is the opposite side. Okay, so what we are concerned with right now is opposite and adjacent. Which one uses opposite and adjacent? Tangent does. So the tangent of what? 72 degrees equals opposite, which is my unknown, x, over my adjacent, which is 32. Okay, I just need to get x alone now. So multiply by 32 on both sides. Those cancel. So then over here, I'm left with 32 times the tangent of 72 degrees equals x. Okay, put that in our calculator. Dun, 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 dun. 32 times the tangent of 72 degrees equals 98.48587319. So when I round that, it's going to be x equals 98.49. And guess what? You are done. All right, get your homework done and go to bed and have dreams of math and art nightmares.